Beer with Friends, where we desperately hope that our tolerances haven't fallen during the last few months of quarantine. I'm Aaron Gore, the second most attractive ginger on the show.
I'm Josh Hayward, Cicerone beer server, retired home brewer, and host of Beer with Brewpreneur.
And I am Stephanie Hudson, the owner of Sweet Tea Craft Marketing, where I know a lot about the outside of the beer cans and not so much about what's inside.
Nice.
So today, what we're actually going to be drinking is the All Together series. So Josh, tell me a little about what you know about these. I know we have 3 different varieties. I promise they're not all the same beer.
They're all different, we promise. So All Together is kind of a humanitarian effort. We've been locked up in quarantine for so long, and it really hit the marketplace really hard. Hit our hospitality industries, our brewing industries, restaurant industries, and Other Half Brewing out of New York decided to do this collaboration beer with really whoever wanted to get involved. They started with a base beer and invited anyone who wanted to be a part of it. And we had a couple Charlotte breweries do that, and also another one here. So
give them a try. All the breweries kind of put their own spin on it. You'll see the differences, see how they're the same. Important thing is the proceeds from them are all going to the Restaurant Workers Community Foundation.
Great
so going
cause.
to a good cause, helping provide for service industry people who have lost their jobs in all of this, which is pretty much everybody. So get us started with this one right here.
Yeah.
This is actually the variant from Divine Barrel Brewing right here in Charlotte, where we're based out of.
good old Queen City.
And they did a little bit of a spin. So the base beer is intended to be a Hazy IPA. This one's actually a West Coast IPA. So probably going to be a little more bitter, a little less juicy, but see how that turns out.
I love how each brewery kind of did their own spin on the other half of the label. Pretty cool.
So cool. I love it too.
Yeah.
And I think it's symbolic because we're all together again.
Yes.
Boy,
Got
it's
the
been way
band
too
back
long.
together.
Been too long. Thank you.
I'm amazed that they legally allowed us to be back in the same room together. Not because of COVID or anything, just because we can't be trusted in the same space.
Excellent.
All right, guys.
Hey, cheers, guys.
Cheers to being together again.
Man, I know.
This is like a beautiful
This is
straw color.
beautiful.
It's a gorgeous color, right? That's the most yellow beer I think I've ever seen. That or somebody just peed in the can. It's really playing a hell of a trick on us.
It
How they
is.
carbonated that, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It does not smell like pee. This is a positive development. So Josh, what are you getting out of it?
I love it. Smells like a West Coast style IPA. West Coast, typically the thing that I go to, piney, resiny, just heavy in your face hops. I'm not getting a ton of that on the nose, but I'm definitely getting that hop
Steph jumped
aroma.
right into taking a drink. I think she might have been missing the IPAs.
I was behind.
Yeah, nice.
You guys have had a head start on me too.
It's one of those beers you smell and you're just like, oh, it just smells lovely. Wow, that's excellent.
I don't smell anything. Is that my smeller?
It's called a nose. It's definitely not super aromatic, and like a lot of hazies tend to be that direction. I'm guessing they didn't do a ton of dry hopping on this, or at least not with super big aroma varieties.
Tastes delicious though.
It
It's
does.
not super strong, not super bitter.
Right.
Yeah, and it's definitely a little grassy and a little citrusy on
Just
the
a
nose.
tad fuzzy on the tongue.
Fuzzy. It's been a while since we heard that.
Yeah, man, I was about to say, I don't know how I got through the past few months without describing a beer.
What was
as
the
fuzzy,
original
but I can't
joke?
go back.
You need to be tested for whether you're allergic to hops.
Yeah. Which, boy, if we're doing an all IPA episode, we'll find that out.
We will, yeah.
You brought up a good point. It's not too bitter. I mean, as this was originally billed to be a hazy, they did put that West Coast spin on it, but it's not so piney or danky or resiny in your face. It's a nice balance of that.
Yeah, it's all there, but it's very, very drinkable. And especially summertime, I need something that I'm not going to take a few sips of, and I feel like my palate's burnt out. I can drink this one all day.
This is
sure.
a good summer.
What's that
all
really
day, all
is?
together.
6.5. It drinks.
Oh, it's
Drinks a lot lighter than that for sure.
It drinks almost like a pale ale, and it's hoppy enough you can tell it's an IPA, but you can throw back 5 or 6 or 12 of these, and have a really good time, then a really bad time, and then someone has to get you out of jail and pay bail. It's a whole thing, but yeah, stop at 5.
Yeah.
But very,
This
very
is
good.
great.
Yeah, I'm really
I
impressed
like
too,
this
because it's such a Divine Barrel thing that they're one of the more hyped breweries in the state, but they're one of the few that hasn't built their hype on hazies and kettle sours.
Right.
And they do plenty of those, and they do them well, but they do a lot more West Coast than you typically
sure.
see out of some of these big hype breweries.
Can I see the can?
Love it.
Yeah. You'll like the marketing.
It
on
looks
this one.
90% the same as the other
So
ones.
you've
I know.
got Charlotte with like hops coming out of the buildings.
Oh, that's cool. It's like it's been overrun with hops.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is the part where our producer Ernest does like a quick zoom in on the actual can. No one can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Time to pick your nose.
I love that they made this their own, and that was kind of one of the cool things about All Together. You've got the base that everyone's using, and then each brewery puts their own spin on it and their own flavor. So,
It is super fun, and it says we are all in this together on every can.
And it really does make it worthwhile hunting down the different variants.
Yeah.
Because when Resilience came out from Sierra Nevada, which was kind of the beer that set the tone for we give you a base recipe as long as proceeds go towards charity, everybody who brewed Resilience pretty much brewed Resilience.
The same thing.
It's nice to see them kind of working from
Changing
a base.
it up a little.
Yeah.
That's cool,
Yeah, and you can tell I got a feeling we're going to be able to tell that these are all
So-
from the same family, but it's nice to see each brewery.
Is it a
put the
portion of
personality.
proceeds?
It's left up to the brewery. Most of them are doing the entirety of proceeds, so basically everything above the cost
Right.
of actually making the beer. I have seen a handful, and they're breaking out a little different, like $1 per pint or like $5 per 4-pack. But they left it up to the breweries and kind of a give
their own
what you
discretion.
can, do what you can. It's all
I
going
love
to a
it.
good cause.
Super nice.
And it's always nice to see beer accomplishing something positive.
That's what the community is about.
Yeah.
we're
Right.
all together.
Down the hatch, Gore.
Cheers.
Good stuff.
Who's next? Ooh,
That was a
crack.
good one, right?
That was.
All right, so I'm not too familiar with this one. This is from Untitled Art out of, I might butcher the, Wenatchee?
It's a Wisconsin name.
Wenatchee.
Good luck.
Wenatchee, Wisconsin. Yeah. So
So they're actually a collaboration brewery. They're
thanks
like
for helping
similar-
me out. I'm like trying to serve it up.
Yeah, so people in the Carolinas are familiar with ancillary fermentation. There's a few other projects around the country where it's not so much that Untitled Art is a brewery. It's actually the guys from Octopi Brewing up in Wisconsin and Funk Factory Goozeria up in Wisconsin.
Nice.
Came together and they're doing a separate brewery that's entirely built around collaboration. So
That's
this is one of the three that they
incredible.
did that wasn't the two of those guys working with a third brewery.
But they couldn't collaborate on a name.
Couldn't collaborate on a name. It is indeed Untitled.
Wow. So we've got, in this one, we're highlighting Mosaic, Citra, Simcoe, and Cashmere. So
Ooh,
So
churchy.
basically everything that they had to get on the spot
Cashmere.
market, they
Yeah.
did.
You guys remember that Seinfeld episode?
I don't. I was never a big Seinfeld fan. I don't know. I feel like I got into it too late because I feel like Seinfeld was groundbreaking for the time,
It
but
was.
now it's kind of
I like the
everybody's doing Seinfeld.
I like the
stuff.
intro, the bassist.
That's where we went.
Yeah, man.
You went to the theme song.
Of all
on-
the
That's
things
the,
about
that- that's the bassist from Primus, dude.
Yeah, I love the Jeffersons, but only the
You
theme
can
song.
learn
Don't even
so
watch
much
the show.
on Beer with Friends.
Oh, yeah.
right.
I don't listen to a ton of Primus either. Let's see. This is what I need to do.
There you go.
Get research.
This,
Another super
this
yellow.
smells completely
More-
different.
more
It's not
ha-
as clear, yeah.
More hazy than the last one for sure.
A lot more aromatic too.
Whoa.
And that's a whole bunch of citrus, touch of tropical
Yeah.
fruit, and it's not a ton of grapefruit. You get a little bit of that, but it's a lot more like orange, like
No-
orange zest.
No one note of hop in this either. There's a lot here.
Yeah, this is definitely a
Way
bit of a
sweeter.
ride even before you take a sip
Oh,
of
I
it.
already
So.
took a sip.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to
Cheers.
salute.
We're out of practice, guys. Give us time. We'll
We
get better
haven't
at
done
it.
this in a while, and she's jumping into it. It's great.
We did this even before we were out of practice.
Also, really good.
That's good. That's super dry.
different. Like, I would never. I'm gonna feel this way about all of them. Like, that these are the same.
These are all
beer.
good. They all taste exactly the same.
No, they
Buy
don't.
them all.
No, I'm gonna, like, it's confusing to me, like, what makes them all the same. But I'm gonna wait till I taste this one and see.
Well, it
And then
also
we can
shows you
have that
just how
conversation.
much a handful of small differences in the brewing process
Yeah.
or the
No
ingredient
doubt
selection
about
can make them into totally different beers. Because this one is a little more full body, but it finishes surprisingly dry for a hazy. It's not sweet in the sense that there's no sweetness lingering
Right.
afterwards. It cleans up pretty well.
It's like it smells sweet.
Yeah, it
More than it
smells
tastes
like it's
sweet.
only sweet. I think it's just from the fruit nature of it, and your brain associates fruit with sweetness, but it's not
Yep.
a sweet beer.
Right.
Lighter than I expected out of a hazy. And honestly, it's a pretty nice bouquet of flavors. It's very. It reminds me almost of like a tropical fruit salad.
Is
Yeah.
it like,
very rounded out?
can it be juicy without being sweet?
Yeah.
It can.
Yeah. I think so.
Ish.
This
The
is-
word
you guys
juicy
are gonna-
basically means nothing when it comes to beer.
I know, but you guys are gonna make fun of me, but this one tastes wetter. Don't you? Like, it's juicier or something.
Weather.
Yeah.
It's be a good time to remind you that the majority of all beer is water.
Number
This
one
one-
ingredient.
They're all wet. This one tastes a little wetter.
For the first time in my life, I'm speechless.
You've accomplished something few have been able to do. None have been able to do. He was.
My
he
wife
was
is going to
speechless.
ask you the secret.
How did you figure that out? Wow.
But it's very dry on the finish.
See, now I don't think it's dry. I just said it was wetter.
When he says dry, like after
Like
you.
your tongue feels dry.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
I'm going back in quarantine. I also just managed to steam up my glasses.
He's like, hey, I'm out.
Oh man, I missed you guys. Cheers one more time.
Okay.
There
Once
we go.
again, once again.
And we're still sober.
To being all together. What's this one? This one 6.5 as well. So same ABV on this one.
So kind of nailed that across the board.
Yep.
Is the last one going to be the same? I'm actually curious now if they all managed to hit
Yep.
that 6.5 mark.
Sure enough.
So that's one way and they're consistent. But
Yep.
Yeah, the hop profile totally different between these two.
Very
This
different.
one is all like papaya and passion fruit and a little bit of coconut.
Papaya, that's good.
Maybe a touch of orange. Whereas the first one was a lot more lemon and just a touch of pine and a little grassiness.
Yep.
And just seeing that huge difference between two beers that are basically being marketed as the same, just based on those individual choices.
And the crazy
Impressive.
thing is that amount of difference between those beers is just a few things at the end of the brewing process,
Yeah.
most likely.
By
As
the
far
way-
as what the hops they threw in for aromatics.
That's probably
and-
the biggest
Josh
one.
isn't going to pay too much attention to me today because he's got a stiff neck. And he can't turn this way.
Yeah.
He's got to turn his whole
You're not
body.
going to be doing that.
That or looking back and forth between us is going to finally work it out. It'll be
All
fine.
right.
Exactly.
Down the hatch you go.
Down the
How come I'm
hatch.
beating you all every time? All right. And
You've missed the beer.
number 3,
You're better at this than we are.
Resident Culture.
Oh,
a
yeah.
fan favorite around here.
Also from the Charlotte area. You want to talk about hype breweries? They're probably the hypest in the city and one of the hypest in the state.
The
For sure.
hypest. Pass them over, fellas.
Go ahead, brother.
Appreciate you.
So one thing they did different with this can, all of the All-Togethers are the same. Theirs says All-Together Now. Little
All-Together
difference
Now.
there. Yeah.
Which is even better because we are drinking it later.
Yeah. Now and later. Yeah. See?
I do. We're all together now.
But it is nice to see them jump on board with
I
this.
wonder why they
Yes.
added that.
That's
Probably just further differentiation, and the folks over at Resin Culture are awesome. I mean, shout out to Amanda and Philip. You guys are fantastic. So
cheers,
it's
guys.
Cool to see them.
I took a smell of that and Resident Culture, just it comes to mind. Just it,
Really?
And they have a trademark.
It's-
You can call out one of their IPAs, especially.
exactly
like
And
that.
It's almost like you smell it and you've enjoyed their IPAs in the past. And
yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, that's from them.
That's all passion fruit.
I might have to do a little more research.
Yeah.
If you must. The sacrifices you make in the name
I have
of
to study that a
beer
little bit.
study.
Oh, that's
That's
Oh, wait,
all
what does this one
passion
look like?
fruit. A little bit of
This one's
lychee.
a slightly different color. It's also hazy, but
Probably
a little
mid-
more straw.
Yeah.
Slightly darker.
I'd put it. Yeah.
It's
Wow.
definitely hazier than the last one. That's
Yep.
the haziest one by far. More legs on it too. Yeah, that just smells all passion fruit
Wow.
and lychee. Like
Yes.
that is very acidic smelling. I know it's probably not going to be, but all sharp fruit.
Passion fruit and lychee acidic?
Lychee not so much, but passion fruit's very acidic.
Is it?
Yeah, passion fruit is very like sharp, bright, citrusy acidity. And that's like right on the
I
nose
would
of
think
this one.
something called passion fruit would be warm and robust.
And passionate.
It's like actual passion. It's sharp and sometimes unpredictable.
Gotcha.
That'd be a
Leaves you
good,
wanting more, but also
be a good idea for an episode. Try an IPA and have different types of fruit out here. We pull
know
out
what
these
We
These
definitely need to
pairings.
do some beer pairing.
pull out
episodes.
these fruit flavors from some of these hops.
This is really good too, you guys.
Yeah.
And it's not too sharp either, and that's actually really well balanced. It's very nice, refreshing. Not quite as much of a summertime beer, I don't think, as the Divine
No,
Barrel.
it's a little heavier
Right.
than the first one.
Yeah, it's definitely got some body on. Not quite as wet and or dry, depending on how you define it as the untitled card.
Wet and or dry.
You heard it
That
here
beer
first.
is wet or dry.
All
but
of the
mostly
above
wet.
and all together.
There's our title.
Oh man, yeah, it definitely
That's
has a
it.
little
That's the
more-
title. All of the above and all together.
That's a good one. Save that, Ernest.
Yep.
Which this is going
I
to be
think
like a
this
no
is-
duh for people watching this because
this
they're like,
is-
I see it. The title's already there.
This is kind of like a episode of 4 because we have a little fly that is like dying to get.
Oh
into
yeah,
these
he's
beers.
hanging out.
Oh yeah, you guys probably can't see it on the camera, but we got
We
like
c-
one little gnat who's decided that he wants a sip of everything. So
He's like, I want to be all together.
we've named him Bob.
Bob.
Bob the Fly. This is good. It's not nearly as bright and as like aggressive as I was expecting
Sure.
from the nose. It actually turns in more like bready, kind of creamy tropical fruit on the back end, a little more like kind of guavy. Delicious.
I'm sorry,
Guava
guava-y?
E.
Guava E.
I don't know how to spell that.
You knew it was coming though, as soon as you said
as
it.
soon as it came out of my mouth.
It's a little guavy.
All right, guys.
Guava?
So
Wow.
favorites. Favorite out of, how would you rank them?
Let's rank them. I like that idea.
I think they are all like, it's interesting because I would never have known that they're brewed with the same stuff. I feel like I kind of like them equally, but for maybe different things.
Sure.
Like that first one, that was the.
Usually we get mad at him when he cops out like that.
I know. What was that one? That was
this is Divine Barrel.
Divine,
on the
yeah.
West Coast.
I think that one I could just drink by itself.
Yeah.
Like that one I could just enjoy sipping
Anytime.
it by itself. This one was the more juicier one to me.
Wet.
That would be, it was wetter.
The wetter beer.
Then
Oh,
this one, I feel like I want to have something with it.
Yeah.
I can
That's
get
a good
that.
point.
I could definitely see like a poke bowl or something would be
A what?
poke bowl.
Like raw
Okay.
tuna.
I'm
Yeah, it's
not
like-
as cultured
spelled
as you are.
Cube
It's
tuna.
spelled poke.
Cube tuna. I'm used to
It's like
tuna out of
cube-
the can or the
No,
pouch.
It's like cubed raw tuna that's dressed with soy sauce.
Back
and-
when he was a
it's
child.
delicious. It's a thing. People eat
When
it.
Josh was a little boy. all
He had
was
burnt tuna.
Burnt toast and tuna out of a can. See our previous episodes for that
It's
show.
more depressing every episode, Josh.
Hey,
Your poor parents.
I almost went to a tuna story, but we'll leave
we
it
know
out.
you have one.
I've got one. Rest assured.
So, Josh, what would you say about these ones?
My favorite all day, for sure. I'm
So good.
I love the West Coast style, and I love their. I love how they made this beer their own. Kind of took something that was supposed to be a hazy and made it more of the West Coast style, but yet it's not so far to that spectrum to where you're getting just dank and oily and stuff. It's a nice balanced
Oily.
beer. It's really, really good. It's
Yeah, we've
great,
gone from wetter to oily.
great anytime
juicier.
beer. Anytime
You know,
beer.
a lot of texture words.
I'm gonna have just a little bit more and save some for you, Ernest. That's a good one.
What about me?
You've already had some.
You're getting more.
All right.
I have
Well,
to.
now's a good time for me to tell you my favorites. This one is my favorite. And I could drink that all day. I love the fact that it's a West Coast. I think could still appeal to a lot of the Hazy IPA drinkers.
Approachable.
Yeah, it's very approachable. It's not overly bitter. It still has a lot of those bright citrusy notes
Yep.
I'd be looking for out of it. Aside from that, these two I like both equally just for different occasions. If pressed, I'd probably drink the Resident Culture one over the Untitled Art, but they're both very, very good. They both hit what they're going for.
They do.
This one's probably a little on the lighter side, but yeah, they're both absolutely crushable, and it's great to see three awesome beers come out of a beer that's being brewed for such a fantastic cause and one that's so
Yeah.
needed right now.
Not
This-
to change gears again, but which one would you have with a can of tuna?
That's a solid question.
Yeah, that would just be a PBR. But like one that's like 2.5 years old, stuck in the back of your
No.
fridge from a house party you
Come
had.
on.
Left in the trunk of your car.
Unless it's with like Velveeta and cheese. You guys ever had like mac and cheese with tuna? Oh, it sounds nasty. Don't knock it till you try it. It's
Oh,
delicious.
man.
It's the only reason I keep
Wait,
canned tuna.
tuna noodle casserole.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
tuna noodle casserole.
She
It's
would make it
delicious.
not with Velveeta, but with like cream of mushroom soup or something.
Which goes in everything. Campbell's cream. See, now he's turning. This guy's talking about burnt toast and canned tuna, and he's judging our food choices.
So this label is so Resident Culture.
That's them.
Oh yeah,
So
that's their
Resident Culture.
brand top to
So
bottom.
RC. That's
and honestly,
like
this
that's
is
their whole thing.
Untitled Art as
I don't
well.
really get this.
It's
I don't
a
know
hop.
them enough to
It's
know.
like a-
all
it's
of their
a-
stuff is
like a
super
hop mural.
abstract,
It looks
artsy.
It looks like maybe they had like some local artist or something do it, something like that. Which
That's
I
what they do
wonder
for
if
most
it-
of their
I wonder
cans.
if
I don't know
that's what
about
it
this one in
was.
particular, but they do.
Which-
That's kind of part of their drive is they're tying in art and beer.
Cool.
And this
I
one
like
just
it.
looks like the city of Charlotte.
I like it, but I don't get it. I like that their like logo and all that. And it's untitled, and they have the just black and white like generic,
Yeah.
like the generic product, like it's just black and white. But which is kind of cool because I guess if you're doing a collab with a whole bunch of people, like somebody's style is going to dominate.
Yeah, and
So I
they've
kinda
done
like
collaborations.
that they went with the just
They've
the-
done collabs with a lot of the more recognized breweries across the country. And if you keep an eye out, just about anything Untitled Art touches is definitely worth looking up.
Yeah.
They got surprisingly wide-ranging distribution. You'll never find much of their stuff, but whatever you do find is going to be worth your time.
I'm not sure this is
Wanaki.
hops.
You don't think it? You don't see the hop?
I think Josh is looking at this.
I feel like right now we're desperately trying to interpret a piece of art. And
Do you
like,
see hops in this too, Josh?
I would.
Hey
wouldn't.
Josh,
I
you see
wouldn't
hops in
trust
this one
my
too?
art.
This one actually does.
I would never trust my art interpretation any day. But
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to Beer with Friends, because the only thing better than a beer is
a beer with friends.
If you're looking for more great content, check us out online at www.beerwith.me. That's www.beerwith.me.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Cheers,
guys.
you guys.